I am keeping the flowers in this video as well because I just felt like we needed some brightness. Like outside is a miserable day, it's gloomy, it's rainy, it's very sad weather. So I just felt like, you know what, we're bringing the spring. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shani, I'm 25 and I live and work in London as a consultant. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I wish I knew before I entered the corporate world. Some of these things are lessons that I've been through and I've learned them. Some of those are habits that I'm still making my way around, but I just decided to share this with you because I think that there are so many things going on out there in the corporate world that juniors or people in entry-level roles experience, and I just wanted to share my experience and to just say that it's okay to feel that way and it's not okay to keep this way of thinking going forward. So without further ado, let's jump into the 10 things that I learned being in the corporate world in my 3.5 years of work in the corporate world now. So let's get started. The first lesson that I learned was you don't have to always have your teams on available or on a busy or on do not disturb. For some reason in my head, I always thought that if my teams, Skype or whatever you're using goes on yellow and it shows that you're being away, you'll be judged because you're away from your desk, and that's so toxic. It's such a toxic habit. Obviously depends on the company and the culture that this company has, but if your company promoting to always be on and always be available, I don't think that that's a healthy place to work at. But also you need to remove the stress of always being available on Teams and Skype from yourself as well. This is something that I definitely experienced in my early days in my corporate job, but I also find myself experiencing this every time I start a new job as well. I'm not sure what it is. I almost feel like I need to show them that I'm a hard worker by always being on or always being available on my teams, but that's not necessary because this will not show how much you can deliver for a company or for a project. This would not show your actual work ethic. So there is no need to always have this pressure on yourself of being available, because what good would that bring? Like if you're always available, you're not actually doing work or you don't understand what you're doing. Like there is no point basically. So just remove the pressure on yourself, and if you need a short little break, just go and take like 10-15 minutes break, 20 minutes break. You know, I was definitely going through and I'm still navigating my way around. So I would just encourage you to take the breaks that you need and to not force yourself to always be available. Like we need to move, like especially office-based jobs where you're sitting all day at a desk, like at a desk. You need to have this break and to stretch your legs for a little bit. And if your Teams or Skype turns yellow, then be it. It's okay. It is okay. The second thing that I want to talk about is working extra hours and thinking that people would actually notice this and think, oh my gosh, she's working so hard, she's putting so much extra hours and so much extra work into this. No, I can't agree with that. Like you need your work-life balance, you need your breaks, you need to leave work after 5, after 5:30, after 6. And yeah, I completely understand that sometimes you need to stay a bit longer, but that shouldn't become a habit. And this is something that I learned very early on. It's important to take breaks. It's important to keep to your contracted hours, to actually have your life after work, and to keep this work-life balance. The next thing that I want to talk about, and feeling like you're not good enough to be in that room, to be attending that meeting, to be in the role that you're in. That's just so wrong. And I would like, this is imposter syndrome for me. I've definitely felt that. I've definitely experienced this, especially in my first corporate job. I was an intern and I remember feeling so not at place. I was like, oh my goodness, like I can see all of these like senior executives and directors, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so wrong for me to be here. And then I had to stop and think and just say, you know what? The Lord has opened this door for me, and if I'm thinking I'm not good enough to stay here, I'm almost disagreeing with him because I'm not valuing the door that he has opened for me. And I had to have this like big realization moment that literally shifted my thinking, and I started owning where I am right now. And I definitely experienced moments where different team members would sort of like not treat me less, but like I could sense that, which I guess is completely normal because I was just an intern. But I learned that, you know, like the Lord has opened this door, the Lord has allowed me to sit on that board room table. The Lord has ordained for me to be here. Would I not owe what He's given me? Why would I not cherish that? It really brought this new level of confidence. The thing that I wanted to add is that we shouldn't be afraid to share our thoughts and opinions about different issues, because by the end of the day, they have hired us exactly for this. They need a new young person to give their viewpoint on certain issues in the business, because currently with everything that's happening with social media, the new generation is what's driving a lot of sales, and a lot of these business partners, these seniors, they need us, they need our view, they need our opinion, and that's partially why we're in those boardrooms. So why should we be afraid to share what we're thinking and whether the solution that they're proposing is good or not? We should be more bold and more open about our thoughts and open about sharing these things as well. So this is something that I definitely had to learn in my first year of being in the corporate world. Hi guys, so I'm sorry to jump in very quickly, but I wanted to add one more point that I forgot to mention in the video. And you have to drive your career. And this is something that I wished I knew. I wish I knew that there is no one who hold my hand throughout the process. Like, yes, you have your managers and you have your guides and your people managers or whatever, but you need to know what you want in order to get it, and you need to work to get it, because people can give you advice and people can give you clues on what to do next, who to speak with, but you need to know so you can fight for what you want, and you have to be in the driving seat of your career. Like, you need to make a way for yourself. Like, if someone said, like for me personally, if someone says, oh, no one has done that before, it's not very popular, and I'm like, this level, oh my gosh, I have things on my head, I'm so sorry, and I'm this much more interested in actually achieving it, because I hate when people say no to me and I love proving them wrong. So I'll try every means to get what I want, in a way, when it comes to different like job opportunities or different projects and stuff like that. So know what you want and be the driving force in getting there. Reach out to people, don't be shy, network, like go where you have to go, meet with the people that have to meet, like be proactive, go out there, like get as much as you can from the place that you're at, whether it's a graduate scheme, whether it's an internship, a summer internship, whatever it is. Just go and be the driver of your career. And this is something that I wished I knew. The fourth lesson that I learned, that I thought that I have to be always prepared for everything, to know all of the answers. During presentations, my biggest fear was the questions that would come after I present my piece. And the fear that's bigger was that I would not know the answer to the questions that I'll be asked. And if I don't know the answer, I would ultimately feel that I'm not worthy to be there, and that I'm not good enough, and that I don't know enough, or I didn't prepare enough. And that's again imposter syndrome. And I had to learn that it's okay to just say, sorry, I'm not sure about this, but let me check this for you and I'll come back to you by the end of the day. By the end of the day, we're just human and we shouldn't be as hard on ourselves. And if someone is judging you because you don't know a certain issue or you don't know the answer of a certain question, then it's on them, it's not on you. And also having this pressure of always being prepared to the level of being over prepared. The fifth lesson that I learned, or I wish I knew, was I shouldn't have been scared of making mistakes. By the end of the day, every single role that I've had up to that point was an entry-level role, either an internship or a graduate scheme, or literally being a junior in a company. And this is the most precious time to be in a role and to actually have the freedom to make mistakes, because nobody has a super high expectations of you to know everything, or you are allowed to make mistakes, you're allowed to ask questions, and that's okay. And if something goes wrong, this is not a reflection of your ability or your knowledge. This is just how work is. And then I was encouraged when I saw very senior people making mistakes, and it was almost like a wake-up call for me. And I was like, actually, like, nobody's perfect, like I can make mistakes and that's okay. The important thing is that I shouldn't allow this to become a habit, and I should just move on and take the learnings to the next stage. Something that I recently learned is that, I'm not sure whether you've experienced that, but sometimes when I organize meetings with seniors or like someone that's slightly above me, I always have a feeling that I need to rush through the meeting, or I need to rush through the time that I have with them, just because I'm thinking that my request or the reason for them having meeting with me is not as important as something else that they have on their plate. And I just feel like I need to be perfect in what I'm asking, perfect in the presentation and organization of my run-through agenda, so that I don't waste their time. And I always find myself rushing through these meetings, and there is no need for that. It's all collaboration. Like, corporate world should be a collaborative space, a safe space where you can ask questions and you can really take your time when you're having these meetings with senior exec. Like, obviously, like, don't waste their time for like silly things, but like, if it's a genuine question that you really want to ask and you don't know the answer, like, ask the question. Take your time, running through your slides, and really present the best of your abilities, but don't present out of the place of, oh my gosh, I need to run through this because they have something else that's much more important than what I'm delivering right now. Don't go to that place. And it's something that I recently dealt with, and I'm trying to really make my way through it, but I'm starting to understand that if they've said yes to a meeting, they said yes to something, then really use this time. If it's a 30 minutes, if it's an hour, like, use this time wisely and really take your time and don't rush through the content that you want to present them. Lunch breaks. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at taking lunch breaks because I'm someone that I'm the peak of my work in the morning. I'm definitely a morning person. I love to get so much of my work done at the beginning of the day, and I work power hours up until like 2-3 o'clock. So I almost don't take lunch. If I take lunch, it'll be like 30 minutes to go pick up my food and bring it to my desk, which is so unhealthy. And it's a lesson that I've learned. Like, no matter if it's like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, take the break. Take the break. And when I started incorporating this in my work ethic, I realized how much I'm actually energized afterwards. I have so much energy. I'm like, I don't feel lethargic by the end of the day, but I feel like I can keep on going until 5:30 if needed. Otherwise, if I don't take this break, or if I don't take a time away from my desk, I cannot finish the day. I literally can't. So that's one of the biggest takeaways. Take your lunch breaks. If it's not lunch breaks, take little breaks throughout the day. Lesson number 8. When I first joined the corporate world, I had this feeling of an urgency to respond to every single email that comes to me. I treated every single email as it has to be done right now. If you don't do it right now, like, you're not good enough. And it's such a toxic way of thinking, because every email, like, you can get so many emails in a day, but you don't have to action everything all at the same time or all at the same day. So you have to really like sit down and critically think and look at your emails and be like, okay, when is the deadline? When do I need to complete this by? Is this as important as what I'm doing right now? And if you don't really know, just go to your manager and say, like, hey, I'm working on this, and that. Which one shall I prioritize? And again, don't put the pressure on yourself of answering every email right there and right now. Really take your time. Prioritize what should be actioned right now. Something that I also learned, and that I definitely found myself feeling, is if you get an email from your manager or a senior member of your team unexpectedly, I had the feeling that I've immediately done something wrong. I don't know where that came from. I genuinely don't understand, but it's such a subtle thing that just comes, and you almost like don't realize when these thoughts come around. But I really had to fight with that, and now I just, every email that comes, I'm neutral about it. I try not to attach any feelings, and I think this is the best way to go forward, because by the end of the day, it's all business. I do not attach any feelings to it, and whatever email you get, whether it's by senior, whether it's expected, whether it's not expected, just look at the email, critically analyze it, prioritize it, and move on or continue doing what you're doing. And lesson number 10 is, again, putting this pressure on yourself of having to constantly work without breaks. And it's not like someone is telling you to do it. It's definitely something that I do on my own. Like, I just feel like I need to work all the time. Like, I need to do it. And almost like I need to come out of my thought process and look at my thinking critically and be like, wait, like, nobody's telling me to do that. Nobody's pressuring me to do it. So why am I putting this pressure? And I have a feeling that this again comes from this sense of having to perform at excellence all the time and deliver the highest quality and be prepared all the time. And I almost like need to sit down and reflect by the end of the week and be like, okay, this is definitely not right. Like, I shouldn't be thinking that way. I shouldn't be putting that pressure on myself, and I should really like work at the pace that suits me, whilst finding the balance of delivering good work at a good pace, healthy for me. It's done in a healthy way. So yeah, these are all of the things that I wish I knew before I started my corporate journey. It's been almost 3.5 years, and obviously I have much long to go, but I'm so excited because I'm almost like at the place right now where I have developed this healthy mindset and I know where to draw the boundary, and I'm very, very disciplined in keeping work to work and life to life. And it's so important. It's so important to do this and to really draw the boundaries and have it so clear. My biggest advice is don't bring work to your life. Just don't. Work is work and your life is life, and both of them should not really mix. And I had to really build this habit and to be really disciplined when it comes to all of that. But yeah, I really hope that this has helped you. That let me know if you felt that way or whether you've experienced some of these things and how you're dealing with. I really like to hear that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.